Strange. Ain't it, though?
Hmm?
I've been tempted once or twice to look to see what's inside it. It ain't even locked.
Well, it seems to me that under the circumstances that you have a perfect right.
You do? I wouldn't want to do it without a witness.
Well, that's me.
It is?
Well, that's all I wanted to know.
Trying to look in that thing and see what's in here. Wonder what's in it.
Soy linen, sweater, soap, and a razor wrapped in a towel with SS Cristobal written across it. A pair of old shoes.
Yeah.
Nothing but religious pamphlets.
Yep, that's all.
Evening, Mr. Potter.
Oh.
Hello, Mr. Wilson.
Fine. Mr. Wilson, hi.
He was drinking. Mr. Potter and I have been poking our noses into somebody else's business. That suitcase. Some chap left it here, and he never did call back.
That's been more than 2 weeks ago.
Did he say what he was doing in Harper?
No, looked in the phone book, didn't telephone. Kind of funny looking he was. A scrawny little feller with big, starry blue eyes. Had a queer walk. Like any second, he might break into a run.
Did he have a foreign accent?
Why, yes, he did. But not so much of an accent as a foreign way of talking.
Do you happen to know who he could be, Mrs. Rankin?
Why, no. I was just trying to complete your mystery for you. Don't all foreign strangers have to have a foreign accent?
Mary, have you seen Red?
Why, no. Not since I took him home to you a couple of days ago.
He's been spending all his time out in the woods, and he doesn't even come home for his meals.
But you told me he never ran away.
He never did.
No, that's why Noah's so anxious.
Come on, Mary.
Good night, Mr. Wilson.
Good night.
Night, Noah.
Night. Were you able to find out anything?
Meinike did go to Rankin's house, and your sister did see him.
Did Mary say so?
She started to. Now, your sister is a fine woman, Noah, but she must find out the kind of man she's married to.
You don't know Mary. She wouldn't listen to anything against him, much less believe.
Noah, we must arrange it so that she finds out for herself. You understand? Yes. One thing's certain, she knows nothing now, nothing at all. Except that he didn't want her to admit having seen someone she did see. I'd give something to know what explanation he's making right now.
I was a student in Geneva. There was a girl. The night before I was to leave, we went out on the lake together. She told me unless I promised to marry her, she'd never return to shore. Well, I thought she was joking. Naturally, but she wasn't. Before I could stop her, she stood up in the boat. Well, I dived in after her, but it was too late. She was gone. Only one person knew we were on the lake together. Her brother. He knew I hadn't murdered her, but he told me he'd be willing to call it an accident for compensation. I gave him all I had and left Switzerland. As the years went by, I allowed myself to believe that the dead past really was dead. And then, on our wedding day, Mary, he appeared again. Her brother, the little man. I gave him all the money I had in the world. And he went away again.
Oh, darling. You should have told me. You've not carried this awful thing around by yourself.
You're a very wonderful person, Mary. I love you very much.
Oh, Charles. Why didn't he go back for his things?
Well, I suppose once he had money, he could afford better. Darling, I'm terribly nervous. I think I'll work up in the clock alone tonight by myself. It will calm me. You understand, don't you?
Of course I understand.
Shall I walk you home?
No, dear, there's no need for that.
It's pretty late.
That's all right. In Harper, there's nothing to be afraid of.
I love you.
Poor old Red. He heard my whistle, I'll bet. He couldn't bark or anything. He just crawled this far and died. Why do you think he died?
Well, let's go and find out.
That's young Longstreet's dog, Red. Looks like he's dead to me.
Yeah.
They're taking him up to Dr. Lawrence's office. Well, do you know anything about it? Wonder what in the world's the matter with him? Checkers?
No, thanks.
That Coke's a nickel. Thank you, Mr. Rankin.
How long could the dog have lived with that amount of poison in him?
Oh, not more than a minute or so, I'd say.
Well, then Red must have been poisoned within a few hundred yards of where you found him, Noah. And the latter part of the distance, he must have been moving slower and slower. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thanks, Jim.
Mr. Peabody, would you please get that magazine racked in and hurry up about it?
Yes, Mr. Potter.
Hurry up about it. Move along and... afternoon, Mr. Wilson. Afternoon, Noah. Bring him right in there. Will you please? Right in.
What does the law say about this kind of murder? Is it the same as killing a man? It ought to be. It's just as bad.
Forepaws muddy. No mud on hind. Dry leaves mixed with the mud. Red must have been digging somewhere in the woods.
Have you any idea what for, Mr. Wilson?
A body, I think. Meinike's.
The little man. Then...
Just caught me.
Anything wrong?
Wrong? Oh, you mean closing up like this?
Yeah.
Just going on a search. What you after?
Found a machine on what search?
For the body. State police deputized half the town. Just reach up there, fourth shelf.
One misses the news up in the clock tower. What body are they searching for?
I bet this fella left his bags here. Scrawny little duck. Unhappy looking. I knew he'd come to a bad end. That ought to be 15 cents, mister. Professor, I'll just put it on your account.
Oh, Sarah told me you're up here. Oh, why are you packing? Are we going somewhere?
We aren't, dearest. I am.
What are you talking about?
As a rule, men leave their wives because they don't love them, but I must leave you because I do. Oh, you won't object once you know the kind of man you've married.
But you are the man I've married, and that's all that matters. Darling, I meant it when I said for better, for worse.
Even to killing Red.
You couldn't.